Again, making up row one, Austin Cindric. In the 22, he has chosen the outside line. On the inside, Christopher Bell, who won this race 1 year ago. Fans on their feet and racing in Kentucky. Christopher Bell throwing it into 1 and 2, and he'll come out with the lead on the other side.
Christopher Bell got the launch he wanted on the front straightaway. Got to the bottom of the racetrack. It's going to be the leader at the line.
I was a little surprised the 22 took the top. Why, I do think the top is better down here in 3 and 4 as you see him clear the 9 car heading down the front straightaway. 1 and 2, it seems like they've been going to the bottom of the racetrack, Jeff.
Yeah, I like the top pick. I just don't think he got the launch that he needed to get. Needed an inner turn 1, you know, either on the door or just a little bit ahead as they're too wide behind. Oh, Brandon Jones almost lost it on the bottom. That yellow car.
Brandon Jones in the 19, the yellow car. A little loose there as we see Cole Custer working to the outside of Noah Gragson. Cole Custer in the 00. Now here comes the 2 sideways.
Reddick.
Hanging on to it is Tyler Reddick, and up against the wall again, that 19 of Brandon Jones.
That's that corner we've been talking about. Reddick just drove it in there, hoping it would stick. Back in, came around, lost his momentum. Then Brandon Jones trying to avoid it. He was up in the marbles. Reddick's not going to quit, though. Now you just went through 3 and 4, sideways on corner entry. Now you have to enter on the bottom of somebody.
Yeah, and if you're Michael Annett, make sure you give him room. As you see Justin Haley down there in that white and black number 11. Here's Tyler Reddick in that green number 2. Still working the inside. Michael Annett holding strong. Let's go back and take another look at that slide for life, I call it. Look at that 2 car, that green car on the bottom. My goodness. I'm not sure who was luckier, the 2 for not wrecking or the 19 for not getting collected. I think that's what forced the 19 up the racetrack and eventually into the outside wall, kind of at the top of your screen.
I think he was thinking the same thing you were. The 2 wasn't done wrecking, and he was trying to get as far away from him as he possibly could.
So now pinned right against that yellow line is the 2 of Tyler Reddick. He has slipped all the way back to 7.
And Brandon Jones all the way back to 14th. That slip in turn 1, and then again trying to avoid in turn 3 and 4.
Oh boy.
And into the wall in 4, we see the 9. 99, a lot of damage.
78, come up underneath of you.
That's Avila. And the right front of that car destroyed.
That one unfortunately is hit every. Don't stop there. You can take that one all the way back.
Hard hit already for J.A. Avila, and that brings the caution out. 40 laps still to go in stage 1, but a quick in for the 99. NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Marco's Pizza. Every store, every day, the Italian way. Hello, Primo. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. So we're under caution for Ja Avila, who got into the wall in turn 4. We've got a glimpse of it.
You can see these cars, it looks like they make contact right here, and then he starts to get loose and overcorrects, and big impact.
Hard impact, and green flag back in the air, back to racing.
No, that's the original start right there.
See, that was good, wasn't it?
You had me concerned. I was like, I missed something. And Kelly reported she's heard some complaints about perhaps a 22 jump at the start, but I don't know how. I mean, the flag man starts the race. It looked to me like they accelerated together, so I don't think it's an issue.
And the rule is the race leader has to get to the start-finish line first. So the second place person can't get to the start-finish line before the first place.
Remember, on the initial start of the race, a flagman starts a race, and the leader has to get to the line first. That's on the initial start of the race. After that, it doesn't matter who that's right. It doesn't matter who gets the line first, and the leader starts a race in the restart zone.
Can I ask the obvious question?
Sure.
Why there has to be different rules for the initial start?
I don't know why the leader.
I mean, you've done this a long time. I thought you might have some insight for me.
I get the flagman starting the race.
I'm good with the flagman.
I've never quite understood why, but that's the rule. That is the rule.
The 99 gets towed back behind the wall. Let's listen into the 9 radio.
Good job on that restart. Definitely going to be fighting for the upper lane down there in 3 and 4.
Yeah, the 22 went 5 car lengths before the zone, like it wasn't even close. The whole restart zone before the initial start.
Yeah, I agree. I saw that.
Oh boy, Jeff, the zone.
Should we look at it again? You want to look at it again? Yeah. I'll call it again if you want.
Yeah.
This is the start of the race.
The zone means nothing. You see the flag waving. See the flag on the bottom of the ground. He's waving, and you know, I just don't see anything wrong about any of this. You know, the restart zone means nothing. It is when the initial start of the race is when the flagman drops the flag.
And so we will have a restart, which we know can be crazy here at Kentucky. Bell, race leader. NASCAR Drive. That's your live race day companion. You can select up to 8 different cameras, or you can watch 4 at one time with a multi-camera view. Just go to NASCAR.com/drive or download the NASCAR mobile app today. Let's go back to pit road and Dave Burns.
Rick, if you watch pre-race, you'll know that Christopher Bell, the leader, and I had a conversation about yawning. That's because when I walked up, he yawned. I said, am I boring? He goes, no. Just before a race, whenever I'm yawning, I know it's going to be a good night. Has been so far. He's led most of the way, Marty.
Dave, we knew Tyler Reddick's helmet cam would provide some interesting footage. We just didn't think it would come on lap 2, nearly losing it there in the first couple laps of the race. He said, I got in a bad spot arrow-wise, but honestly, I'm only on 1 to 1.5 loose, so we're made it much better in 1 and 2. Still working on turns 3 and 4. That footage is going to be fun to watch all evening, Kelly.
Ahead of Reddick, there's the 0-0 of Cole Custer. What a season. He's having 4 wins in the first 16 races of the season, and he was the most recent winner on a 1.5-mile track. Full of confidence. He told me after practice that he felt really good about his car. The only place he might be getting a little bit beat, he thinks the 20 of Christopher Bell might be a touch better over the long run. Rick?
Christopher Bell has chosen that outside line, which is what we saw out of Austin Cindric at the start of this race. So will it work for Christopher Bell? It didn't work for Austin Cindric.
I think the outside lane's the way to go. The guy that leads the race, he needs to get a better launch than the guy that's not leading the race and be ahead up into turn 1. So you have to bet on yourself thinking you're going to get the launch you need.
Bell and Cindric 1 and 2. Then it's Allgaier, Gregson, Annett, Custer, Herbst, Reddick, Truex, and Briscoe. They are the top 10. Pace car makes its way onto pit road, putting the field back in the hands of Christopher Bell. Again, Bell in the 20 on the outside line, Cindric in the 22 on the inside line.
That's Cole Custer in that 0-0 car. He got a good launch. See if he makes it 3 wide. Thinking about it, didn't do it.
Bell easily clearing the 22 of Cindric, but here comes Gregson in the 9, trying to go by on the outside of Cindric. And now Cindric on that low line takes back the 2nd spot. He clears Gregson in the 9 as they go through a little bit of that speedy dry in turn 3 or 4.
Pretty impressive drive down there by Cindric. He drove it deep into turn 3 and it stuck. This is what Junior talked about. This outside lane wouldn't come in. It's pretty good through 1 and 2 right there.
Comes Michael Annett in the 1. See him just in front of Tyler Reddick.
Halfback 8 up top, 11 up to your bumper, your lane.
And sun becomes an issue too. We're seeing
that's low, entering turn 1. And you see why the 11 of Justin Haley, the big wiggle, is going to move up the racetrack. 19 of Jones in that bright yellow car going to get underneath him. Now we're on board. The helmet can of Haley to his left. You see Jones right here. Side by side, he's going to put his nose right on that quarter panel, try to stall out the run of the 19. He's unable to do it. There's that sun you mentioned, Rick.
down the back for the front stretch once again, and Haley has ducked in behind Brandon Jones. Only 15 laps into this race. Bell out front, Cindric running second, 7/10 of a second behind him. Then it's Gregson, Custer, Allgaier, all in the top 5.
Nice run by John Hunter Nemechek in that yellow number 23. You're going to see once again on that. This is not what you want to see from the helmet cam. Cars going by to your left.
Fight for fourth. Cole Custer has it. Allgaier's trying to reel him in. And Allgaier really needs something to jumpstart the season.
Yeah, really hasn't had the speed that we've come to think of with Justin Allgaier as of yet. They're not done working though. A lot of races left to go. You can see they're just left side tires right on the bottom edge of that traction compound. That's going to be the preferred lane.
And Jeff, you hit it right on the head. Justin Allgaier in this 17 just haven't had the speed, and it's almost befuddling because he says the car handles so well. In fact, yesterday in practice, he said, if I didn't have a lap time to compare to anybody else, I would have gotten out and said, we're awesome. We're going to go out there and win this race. That's how good the balance felt on the car. That's just finding those extra tenths. and it's hard when he can't really give his crew chief, Jason Burdett, any real guidance because the handling is so good.
It's a good run right there. You're getting ready to see how you make a pass at Kentucky. Back to the gas a little sooner, down the front stretch, turn left. I'm not going to say the apron's where I would send him, as rough as it is, and he makes a pass. I ran into Allgaier down on pit road for qualifying. Filter time on that car, that company's owned by Dale Jr. and Blake Cook, another former race car driver, and he said, hey, guess what? Blake's name's on my helmet. I said, well, he does own the company. He goes, no, it's his helmet. I borrowed his helmet since I already hit filter time on it.
So Allgaier has made the move up to 4th, has moved Custer back a spot to 5th. Bell, Cindric, and Gregson are the top 3, separated about 0.8 of a second between the 3 cars.
And listen, that was only a pass for the 4th position. But to be honest, when's the last time we saw Justin Allgaier run the 0-0 down and make a clean pass under green at a 1.5 mile track? That's those little shots of confidence you have throughout the race, and we'll see where they can build and head to. No different than the 22. Got to be a great shot of confidence to be able to see Christopher Bell less than a second out in front of you.
Yeah, he's actually been faster the last couple laps than Christopher Bell, Austin Cindric has.
Christopher Bell was dominant here a year ago. Trying to pick up where he left off. Winning this race, the only time he has started here in the Xfinity Series. Christopher Bell out front leading most of the laps.
So Christopher enters turn 3, left side's on that compound, and then he moves up the racetrack just a little bit, not able to just maintain a steady arc around the corner. Austin Cindric behind him is able to just rotate and wrap that line. You see Christopher Bell looking at his mirror, checking to see how he's doing with his competition. Is he driving away from them? See, that lap he just stayed constant, didn't run up the racetrack, ran the very bottom of that traction compound, wasn't up the racetrack at all in the middle of it. Actually went a little bit quicker.
And so trying to put a little more distance between himself and Austin Cindric, who's running in the 2nd position. Christopher Bell, the 24-year-old, 4 wins already on the 2014 season. 2019 season. The 24-year-old with the 4 wins began his racing career in junior sprints way back at the age of 6.
I watched him win some of those late model races, driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports. 3-time winner of the Chili Bowl.
3 years in a row, 17 truck champion.
Good battle here between Tyler Reddick and Herbst, Marty.
Tyler Reddick finally getting around Riley Herbst, and it took him about 4 or 5 laps to get that pass done. So Jeff kind of talked through that. When everyone's kind of running in that sticky stuff for the PJ1, it's difficult to find more speed to get around that guy in front of you. Reddick was clearly faster, but had a tough time getting around the 18.
Yeah, it really is, Marty, and you just have to stay at it. You just have to keep putting pressure on him, hoping he makes a mistake. You can see the difference in the lines right there. See Reddick, he's working a little bit higher lane in 1 and 2.
Reddick moving the right direction. He is currently in 7th, making his way a little bit closer to Michael Annett, who's running in the 6th spot. Everyone's still chasing Christopher Bell out front by over a second as we go NASCAR nonstop. 16 laps to go in the first stage of the Alsco 300. Make sure you catch all the action of NASCAR on NBC with the NBC Sports app. You get closer with alternate camera angles, driver stats, and track information. Riding along with Riley Herbst, who's currently in the 8th position, just a fight with Brandon Jones, as well as Michael Annett, Tyler Reddick just in front of them. But Brandon Jones has closed the gap now on Herbst.
Brandon's faster than Riley. Hadn't quite found a way around him. Putting a lot of pressure on him here. Trying to take a little wear off that rear spoiler.
This is an area where I think Jones needs to learn to be a little more patient. I've seen a few mistakes this year trying to force this path. I like this. I ran a couple laps trying to figure out where to make a run. That's a nice, clean look to the inside of the 18. Now try to complete it down here in 1 and 2.
And Riley, knowing he has the spot, lets him have it rather than entering turn 1 on the outside. I think a smart move for a young guy running in, you know, in 9th, 10th place. Why get yourself in trouble over that at this point in the race?
So Brandon Jones completes the pass, moves up to the 8th spot now. He'll set his sights on Tyler Reddick, who right now has set his sights on Michael Annett. Those two running 6th and 7th, just in front of Brandon Jones. 4th position, Marty.
Obviously, those two are teammates. Riley Herbst in that black monster number 18 car, and Brandon Jones in the Menards colors, the yellow colors, right in front of him. They told Riley, hey, let Brandon go and follow him. So to your point, Jeff, they're trying to get this young driver to learn from a more veteran driver. They've also hired a coach for him and really gotten him to watch the races. They sent him up into the stands to try and learn everything he can and be on the radio as well. And Jeff, you know, coaching for young drivers, very important, isn't it?
I think it's exceptionally important. This is Riley's 2nd mile and a half in an Xfinity car. So, you know, there's so much to learn, and it happens at such a fast pace. And you want him to go out there and have a great run and contend for the win, but you got to remember the goal, right? And that's to get lap time and learn what it takes to be successful in one of these Xfinity cars. See Tyler Reddick trying to drive underneath the net.
So that pass started all the way back in 1 and 2 on the previous lap. He ran the top up into that black area, that sticky stuff. Got a great run down the backstretch, which allowed him to pull to the bottom of the 1 car into turn 3. That's what we see here in Kentucky. This isn't a 1-corner pass. You don't catch a guy, turn under him, and go by him. The 2 ends of the racetrack are very different. So the race car driver has to A first, as I catch you, Jeff, which corner am I better than you in? And then kind of strategize around that as we see 2 teammates battling right here for the 3rd position.
Gregson in front in the light blue number 9, and Allgaier just behind him in the 7.
That's one thing you mentioned Reddick jumping up in the 2nd lane, right? He's not afraid to try that. Like, so right now, Allgaier, right? He's stuck behind him. Allgaier's a little more conservative than that. You know, he's just going to jump up there as quickly as Reddick would.
Yeah, so the team has been telling Noah Gregson in that number 9 car to use the bottom in turns 1 and 2 because they say the 7 of Allgaier can't run up top there. Now they're running 3 of 4 right now. This is how they qualified, and Noah Gregson, his first time running in an Xfinity car here in Kentucky, pretty pleased with that. He said he's really leaned on Justin Allgaier this weekend to help him here. So the fact that he out-qualified him, he was pretty proud of that.
It was a good corner by the 7, following the 9. Even on the bottom, he got back to the gas a little sooner. This is a great shot to show you how the 7 turns down a little lower, Jeff. Looking for that air on the left front fender. He gets it. It allows that car to turn. Now he's in position. He should be just where he wants to be entering turn 1 with the 9.
And he turns left trying to get away from that 9 so he can't side draft him. Noah wisely saying, hey, it's your spot.
I really like what I'm seeing out of this 7 early.
That Cole, Custer, and Reddick back there.
So Allgaier has made the pass. He moves up to 3rd. Gregson 4th. Custer and Reddick 5th and 6th. Marty.
I tell you, all the JRM cars looking pretty strong right now, including Michael Annett sitting back there in the 8th position. I chatted with him. He said, you know, it used to be the top 10 would get me excited. Now we look for top 5s. The goals have really changed for this one team. And he told me every Tuesday, Travis Mack, my crew chief, Jason Jarrett, my spotter, we sit down, we watch film, we break down film, and I leave those meetings so confident. So, Junior, he works for you. I want to know what you've seen different in Michael Annett this year after the win at Daytona.
I think that relationship with Travis Mack has really helped him apply himself, get to feeling better, taking better care of his body, getting in the gym, working out. Pretty incredible to see that turnaround, but we've seen this out of Michael Annett before. If you go back to 2012, he had a great year in this series and ran great, had a great point season. So I know what he's capable of doing, and he's finally reapplying himself. He's got a crew chief and a team around him that believes in what he can do. Great fight here for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Gregson, Reddick, and Custer. Gregson in that blue number 9 as they're working through some lap traffic now. To tell you, not only lap traffic, Jeff, I think they all learned something about the top of this end of the racetrack. That green number 2, watch right here and see if he goes to the top behind the 9. He will. Oh no, the 9 takes the top away, forces the 2 to the bottom. Multi-groove racing here in Kentucky.
Yeah, Noah was watching what Reddick was doing back there, and he went to that second groove. And behind them, the 19 of Brandon Jones, he's run them all down. Brandon Jones has been the fastest car on the racetrack for several laps in a row.
So with 4 laps to go, it's Gregson in 4th, Reddick 5th, Custer in 6th, Brandon Jones in 7th. But all of that could change easily in 4 laps. Right now, Reddick looking to the inside of that 9 of Gregson.
You know what's going on right now? There's a lot of Cup drivers watching that second lane come in at 1 and 2, and they're getting happy about it.
And that's exactly what Tyler Reddick was talking about. I asked him if that second groove was going to get going in 1 and 2. He's kind of smirked and smiled at me. He said, oh yeah, and I'm going to be the guy to do it. He certainly do it, but Noah Gregson wisely has been taking that line away from him. There he does it again, trying to force that 2 a little bit lower, Rick.
Right on the back bumper, Tyler Reddick trying to force the issue now. As the 9 of Noah Gregson trying to hang on to that spot. Again, this is a fight for 4th, and you see Brandon Jones, the 19, coming into the picture. That yellow 19 trying to get to the inside of Cole Custer. I'm not sure the 9 is better up top at this end of the racetrack, but he knows the 2 is, so he's taking the line away from the 2. Wow, that was close. Side by side into 1. Again, a fight for 4th, and Reddick's going to take it away from Gregson. Here comes Jones.
Brandon Jones is better than all of them. He just run them down from a long way back.
There's only 2 to go in the stage. Points are going to be awarded in 2 laps. Everybody wants to improve their position.
Bell has a very comfortable lead out front, 3.2 seconds over Austin Cindric. And then Allgaier running back in the 3rd position, 7 seconds behind Christopher Bell. What a great fight right now for 4th. What a block by Jones on the 0-0 down the front stretch. He's swatting flies both in front and behind. He's not sure where to go.
It's a great battle. Great battle for 5th.
Christopher Bell is going to add to his stage wins as he comes to the stripe. Bell wins stage 1.
Brandon Jones, drag racing to the start-finish line. No one's going to get a big run on the outside.
What a run for Jones. He goes up and blocks. He'll take 4th.
That was fun. Good racing.
Yes.
Second lane, man, it's ready.
So it was Bell and Cindric, Allgaier, Reddick, Brandon Jones, the top 5. What a run to end stage 1. Christopher Bell now 9 stage wins already this year. 4 race wins. Looking for number 5 tonight. great pace set by Christopher Bell. He has the 18th car a lap down, so 17 on the lead lap, and they're making their way onto pit road now, Dave.
And Rick, he's told his team really good on the balance. No need to do anything there. He is a little thirsty. He got a fresh drink of water, 4 fresh Goodyear tires, and a fill of Sunoco fuel. Second place, Austin Cindric at the 2/3 mark in the turns. He needs that car to turn a little bit better. They're going to free him up. Kelly?
Justin Allgaier in that blue and white number 7 said that he needed a little bit more front turn through the center of the corners in 1 and 2. It was just a little bit tight in exit. 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel, Marty.
Bird's eye view of Tyler Reddick's pit stop from the Peacock pit box. He said the starting balance is just okay, that's it. But it gets really good towards the middle and the end of the run. A little bit too tight, they couldn't loosen up. Tyler Reddick will gain a ton of spots, and I believe a little strategy play there for Justin Haley as well.
We think so too. 2-tire stop for Haley, picks up 10 spots, and he comes off pit road first. Reddick, Gregson, Cindric, all with great pit stops. Stage 1 winner Christopher Bell, a tough pit stop on pit road.
Yeah, Rick, from 1st to 7th, and basically just nothing stands out except for just a little sloppy on the front, where you see right here a little sloppy going on, a little bit in the way of the jackman. Got to get out of jackman's way, and then definitely more than 5 lug nuts coming off. Slow pull, definitely more than 5 going on. You see the frustration instantly right here. He knows he's going to be there. That's the 18 Cup crew. That's why you get reps on Saturday.
And Junior, we're getting ready for another restart.
Yeah, this has been pretty interesting. Track position obviously has been very, very important. We had just about a second of fall off over the entire run of that stage. That isn't a lot, so it's going to be hard to pass. Restarts going to be important. We talked about it at the start of the race. Well, now after a stage and guys running in this second groove on the restarts, they know what kind of grip's out there. You're going to see these guys more committed to that outside line, more committed to the throttle, driving the car down into the corner on that outside line and taking advantage of that PJ1. Seeing the 2 car taking advantage of that PJ1 during the long run and making some great speed up there. These other drivers need to be paying attention to that, trying to take advantage of it as well, using that momentum down the back straightaway. That 2 car, he's now up front. Gained a lot of spots on that pit stop. I don't know if the other guys want that because he really found the speed up there in turn 1 and 2.
So Justin Haley, after a 2-tire stop, won the race off pit road. He's out front. The control car on this restart, he has chosen the outside line. And Tyler Reddick on the inside as they come back to the flag.
See right there, looks like the 11 spun his tires a little bit. Allows the 2 have a pretty good launch on 4 tires.
Right here, you got to stay committed to the throttle. Should be able to run wide open around 1 and 2 on this restart.
Oh,
the 2 is in trouble.
The 2 of Tyler Reddick slides up the racetrack, will lose a couple spots. Noah Gragson was right on his back bumper.
A couple spots was nice, a handful for sure. And you see right there, Christopher Bell trying to recover. Now he's inside Cindric for the 4th position. How's my math real quick?
Brandon Jones in that yellow 19 has moved up to 2nd. 3 wide back here for position.
Noah on the outside in that light blue car. I thought the 19, it cleared him. 19 is going to go for the lead right here.
Coming out of 2, he takes the lead away, sliding right in front of Haley. Gragson moving by as well. Now very tight as Christopher Bell has fought all the way up into the top 4.
Christopher Bell missed the bottom of the racetrack right there in the 22. Cindric trying to get underneath him.
Veteran move, right? He runs low down the straightaway to protect from the 22. Allows Haley on the outside, but he knows he only has 2 tires. He's got to feel that he has a better car at this end to go by that 11. As you see him, he's got to come into sight. That's going to clear the 20 guys. I wondered how good this 20 was if it was just track position, but what he showed me right here in this restart is he has a very good race car.
I don't know about that 19 car, though. He's out front now. We saw him run the group down. I want to see if he can drive away from everybody.
He's going to try. Brandon Jones in that yellow 19 up front. Here comes Austin Cindric again.
You see Austin Cindric was pushing Christopher Bell down the front straightaway trying to get by the 11. Last year, Austin Cindric does not push him. He turns left, makes it 3 wide, puts them all in a tough situation. He is a maturing driver, understanding that wasn't the time of the race to do that.
Side by side for position. Again, Cindric in the 22, Haley in the 11. And up the racetrack, contact made. Cindric sideways, coming out of turn 4. He'll tag the back end of that car into the wall, but that brings the caution out again.
The 11 of Haley, he got in the wall as well on the exit of turn 4. I just was talking about the patience he was showing.
You jinxed him, is that what you were going to say?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Actually, but I don't think this was a lack of patience.
No.
The 11's backing up on 2 tires. You have to pass him. At some point you have to pass him. He turns underneath the 11.
That tire drop. I mean,
We've talked all weekend
pretty good.
how difficult turns 3 and 4 are. One of the toughest corners in NASCAR. This is what we're going to see.
It's turn 3. He's not the first one to lose it on entry into turn 3. He's in a bad position. The 11's got all the air off the side of his car. Drives down, and there he's loose already. Now he's just got to chase it up the racetrack. You know, he just overdrove the entry just a little bit. So easy to do. And then Haley, I'm not sure how much damage he got.
He got lucky that Cindric saved it a couple times, or it would have been an instant spin for the 11 too. The 11 has enough damage. He's coming to pit road as we look at these replays. I think you have to come to pit road with how hard he hit him in the left rear tire, and then, oh boy, sliding through the smoke.
Here's Haley.
Only a 2-tire stop for Haley that last time by.
Yeah, and I like the 2-tire call. I saw last night in the truck race, 2 tires worked really, really well.
But you said it at the top of the show. Trucks have more downforce. Cup cars have more downforce. These cars drive the worst. I was with you. I like the call. I'm not guessing it now. What we've learned is the lack of downforce needs those 4 tires, I think, to be competitive.
Look at this shot. He knows he's up the racetrack.
Keep coming, you're good. Hang on to it, hang on to it.
A little harder than I thought.
You're good, you're fine, you're fine.
There you go. Get that spoiler. So basically, he's bending it back. He's not trying to take angle out, but if it gets pushed forward, closer, I'm talking about the 11 of Haley on the right. If that spoiler gets closer to the roof, that's bad. That's losing a lot of downforce, Rick. So he's trying to get it back in the original location.
And so they go to work on both cars that were involved in the incident. Haley in the 11 on the outside, trying to hold his position, and Austin Cindric on the inside slides up the racetrack, makes contact. They both tag the wall, bringing out the 3rd caution. back at Kentucky Speedway, and they continue to work on the 22 of Austin Cindric. Take another look at this perspective, and that was Austin Cindric sliding up the racetrack, tagging the 11 of Justin Haley. That perspective is actually Parker Kligerman's camera, and we're just thankful that, Parker, you made it. This is the first we've seen you all weekend.
I appreciate it, Rick. I just wanted you guys to miss me, and that was great camera work by our cameraman down here, Brian, and he saw that all go down. And what you saw there is what happens in turn 3 all the time. We see on the restarts as you enter in the corner, you see those cars there, they're lined up. You want to enter up in the black stuff and then get the car back down. And what Justin Haley was doing there was squeezing Austin Cindric, because that's a way to defend. But what you do is you leave yourself vulnerable for exactly what happened there.
That's a great shot where Parker reminds me of sitting at a short track, right?
Yeah.
In your chair. Parker, take a picture and hashtag my track, my roots, right? Kentucky Speedway.
Noah Gragson on the inside. Brandon Jones on the outside as they go back to racing. 31 laps to go in stage 2.
The front 4 very tight. Gonna be side by side through here.
Can Gragson clear Jones? He does. Now here comes Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell in the 20 on the inside of that yellow car of Brandon Jones, and Bell diving low, trying to get by Jones as they go through 3 and 4.
Didn't quite have him cleared. Brandon with a good run on the exit.
New leader of 9. Good job.
Earl Marvin, Jimmy Johnson's spotter for decades, actually, forever. I recognize that voice anywhere. That's the spotter for the 9 as we see 20 past the 19.
And there goes Cole Custer. He's going to go by the 2 of Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick struggles taking off. This does not have the speed, the rear grip he needs early part of these runs.
You gotta be careful, you know, when you have a car that looks so good on the long run, you don't want to adjust it, but you lose time early, and it takes too long to come back. I don't know, like he's shaking the car down the straightaway. I don't know what he's doing there.
We just saw the 2 of Tyler Reddick, and that car shaking as he was going down the front stretch. Riding along with Riley Herbst here in the 18 as he looks to the inside of Chase Briscoe. 3 wide. Here comes the 7. Justin Allgaier trying to make the pass on those 2, and he'll complete it.
Through Mr. Allgaier. Nice move. 2 for 1.
We just saw 2 cars not be able to go through there. I'm surprised 3 can make it.
Ryan Sieg was out of the dark asphalt up there and almost into the wall in that 39.
You mentioned that, Jeff, but I thought the 18, I'm not sure if it was by choice, but he did a nice job of not driving in there 3 wide. He backed out just enough to make it down to 2 lanes as we see Briscoe.
Briscoe tags the wall.
He was trying to make that outside lane work and just got a little too high on corner exit, got in the wall. A lot of action in this race so far.
Cole Custer, Chase Briscoe, teammates for Stewart Haas Racing in the Xfinity Series. You see the yellow stripe on the back of the 98. That's a rookie stripe for Cole Briscoe, or Chase Briscoe.
See how high Chase is on the corner exit. Just not enough grip up there.
So on a Cup car, I would say I'd be very concerned. But these composite bodies, basically, they're not metal. They're a composite body on this Xfinity program. That 98 really looks like it's in pretty good shape still. I don't think it hurt the car much.
Right along with Herbst and see what he had as far as a view.
Outside corner clear. Outside clear.
Really
clear,
wasn't
clear,
that
clear.
high when he got in trouble. He, you know, people been working that second lane, and he just got the back end, just came around on him.
Right here.
Gragson can't shake Bell.
No, and Bell has run him down consistently. 15 100s, 210s every lap. Now he's there. Now he's in attacking range. He's close enough. Jeff, take us through what's his path around this. Not always going to stay up. Use that sticky groove of the racetrack, and look at the run he gets through the corner.
So now you talked about this corner. The pass doesn't always happen in the corner where it all started. He set him up. Now he's got a big run going into turn 3. He's going to try to run a little bit lower line than Noah. Trying to go to the throttle. Now it's a game trying to get to his left rear quarter panel. If you get to that left rear quarter panel, dump all the drag on his car. Noah with a good launch, though. Now, Christopher, what's he going to do? I think now he goes back to the bottom. Nope, back to the middle.
I like the run he gets off the top. I think the 9's going to move up and take the arrow way down here, because at the bottom of this end of the racetrack, I don't think the 20 can make much ground up. Ooh, follows in his tire tracks, maybe a half a lane.
Nine's loose.
Gonna get him more loose.
Half a lane lower, bumper, inside.
Fight for the lead now. Here comes Bell. Bottom of the racetrack. Bell trying to clear him as they go into one. Bell leads at Kentucky again.
And I know it looked like Noah just gave the spot up, but I'm impressed by that. There's so much to go in this race. Follow the 20. See where your car needs to be a little bit better. There's no reason to contend the spot, drive in on his quarter panel.
Dave.
It's hard to knock much about Christopher Bell's game this year, but the mile-and-a-half tracks have been a little bit of a struggle after the first part of the year. Oh, and that's Ronnie Bastin around. Yep.
Ronnie Bastin Jr. goes around in the 90. That's the 4th caution that has come out.
Here's going to pick up the pace car is going to pick up the leader right here. Just try to get going as best you can here.
Ronnie Bastin Jr. was running in the 23rd position when he spun.
Dave knew that name right away, covering those K&N races.
And left rear definitely down on the 90.
Looks like he's on the apron trying to get back to pit road. Dangerous though. Always get scared when I see a car spin back up on the racetrack like that. Very fortunate nobody was coming.
So he continues to work his way around the apron. We'll come back onto pit road to the attention of his crew.
You mentioned the K&N Series. He and his brother both for many, many years ran the K&N Series.
So the 4th caution has come out. There's 22 laps to go. Crew chief, what do you do here?
Save tires and stay on the racetrack. I mean, I think if you came and got tires right now, it would help you. You'd probably have a pretty good chance to maybe even fight back and win this stage if you can get a good enough starting position, enough cars come. But I think it puts you at a big deficit for that final stage, and that final stage is the longest. I think you want at least 2 sets of tires in your pits. I'm staying on the racetrack. I wouldn't pit. Not if I'm Christopher Bell, Gregson, Jones, Custer, the front 4, even Reddick in 5th, Allgaier in 6th. And once you get 6 guys stay, I'm not sure you can start close enough to the front to use those tires to your advantage.
Well, if you want to go inside the headset with access to NASCAR scanner all weekend long, listen in on pit strategy or spotter communication, even crew chief calls. You can hear what your favorite driver has to say during the race. A monthly subscription starts at just $2.99. Go to NASCAR.com/scanner.
You know, Rick, you're talking about questions if you could pit. The only other option is you pit now and stay out at the stage, but you're going to have 17 or 18 laps on your tires at the stage, and I get really concerned starting a long run on old tires. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think there's a wrong decision, but I would be staying on the racetrack.
So Christopher Bell, Jason Ratcliffe is the crew chief for Christopher. He'll be the first one to make the decision if he wants to come to pit road or not. And he will hint to the left and then stay out on the racetrack. A little further back, a few are going to take this opportunity to come to pit road. We'll take a quick break and be back for the restart here in Kentucky. NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. All right, let's set up the restart, as we know that Bell and Gragson, they stayed out. It looks as though Bell has chosen the inside line. Gragson will be on the outside.
So a lot of stories right now. So Bell chose the bottom. He's seen that the top hasn't always worked. That put Noah on the top, so Noah's got to get a good launch. But look what it did to the rest of the field. The 19 is on the bottom. The 19, I think he would rather be on the outside. He's not been quite as good on the restarts. In the 00, he's on the outside. I think that works for him.
I do think the 19 and the 2 are in better shape with the leader in front of them. That lane should accelerate first, even though they want to be in the top. Let's see what kind of launch the 20 gets here in the restart zone.
And Reddick in that green car, he's been loose on every restart. Now he's going to have cars on the outside of him. That's going to make him even looser.
19 does not launch out of the zone.
Closing the gap now, though, as they enter one.
Yeah, I was concerned. I thought the 19 had either spun his tires or didn't go, but the second half he did accelerate. Now he's inside the 00 of Custer.
And see, behind him, the 2, he was on the bottom. He just didn't have enough for a grip, and they put him 3 wide.
Up the racetrack goes Brandon Jones. He's going to be able to hold it off of Gragson as they fight for second.
Yeah, look at Reddick back there. You mentioned 3 wide. I don't know if this is going to work, gentlemen.
They make it 2 wide as they enter one.
John Hunter Nemechek in that 23 wisely gets out of the gas, lets those 2 have the lane. On the left side of your screen, you see Justin Allgaier battling for the 4th position.
Allgaier in the 7.
And that Truex.
Ryan Truex in the 8, coming up there to fight with teammate Allgaier.
Somebody had him as their wild card pick.
The sleeper pick?
Yeah, who was that?
Who was that?
Yeah, I think it was me.
Is your arm sore? You're patting yourself. Have you pulled your shoulder?
I'll pat you on the back if you want me to. Just let me know.
Any acknowledgement of anything.
Christopher Bell already a 7/10 of a second lead over Brandon Jones, as we see it tightening up here. Michael Annett and John Hunter Nemechek in the 23.
Jeremy Clemens and Ryan Sieg in this battle.
John Hunter Nemechek in that 23 has been a little frustrated, he told me today, because he felt like at the beginning of the season his car was a lot closer to the big 3 that have won the races, majority of the races this year. He said lately they've been working on a lot of different things to try to get that back, but he's not in as good a place as he thought he was earlier in the season.
So that is one of the negatives for a single car organization, GMS. They're doing a great job and they're working hard. I'm not questioning that, but trying to chase those big 3, let's be clear, as Annett gets inside the 23 of John Hunter. When we talk about Custer, that's Stewart Haas. They have Cup cars and a couple Xfinity cars, right? When we talk about Bell, that's Joe Gibbs Racing. I mean, these guys have the resources. Tyler Reddick from RCR.
And Annett is going to clear, well, barely clear John Hunter Nemechek.
He said he's going to clear him. I'm thinking, I hope it was going to be close.
Here comes Ryan Sieg in the 39, looking to the inside of Nemechek.
How about Ryan Sieg in this team? You know, this Ryan Sieg, these are Childress cars, but it's a later version of the Childress cars. It's a line of guys that left Childress and went to work on this family-owned team, and here they are battling in the top 10. Great job.
Only 7 full-time employees for Ryan Sieg.
They commute. Some of them commute from the Charlotte area and go work there a couple of days a week.
4 guys will do that commute. Marty.
You see the battle for 5th between Ryan Truex and Justin Allgaier. Here, get that spot behind them, Tyler Reddick. And a moment ago, Jeff was talking about him not trusting his car on the restarts, maybe being too free. Here's what he had to say on the radio about that.
I know he's on me, but like, even when I kind of got singled out where I need more rear grip to take off in front, just the rear grip isn't quite there. Like, it makes me think it's there, and then once I kind of commit to throttle, it steps out and gets away from me.
Just looks like right there he was giving up too much getting into 3, but he's making it up off. So it may be a good trade-off.
That's Reddick and Richard Childress talking about that, Jeff. So put us behind the wheel when you're in there. You don't quite trust the car on that restart. That's what we saw from Reddick. He loses all those spots, Jeff, but he seems to gain them back the further they run.
Yeah, the most difficult thing, Marty, is that he says he thinks he has grip and then he doesn't, right? So for a driver, that's really hard to deal with, because you can only, if you drive your race car off of what you feel, right? And if you feel grip, you're in the gas, man, I'm going, and then boom, you lose it. And that's very hard to manage for a race car driver. We've seen it with Tyler Reddick all night long on those restarts. They're going to have to give up, Steve, some of that long run speed, get this thing tightened up so he can blast off on restarts.
I like his feedback. I like what he's telling Randall Burnett. I think he's right on the idea. Listen, I can't give up this much, right? I just can't do it. I don't make it back up, because you see how hard he's fighting to pass Truex right here. He's a better car, but it takes time. On the right side of your screen, Cole Custer darts away from the 9 of Gregson to the bottom of the racetrack. Gotta be careful down there. There's some drains on the apron here in Kentucky. If you hit those things, it is rough.
Good side-by-side battle here. Includes that red car of Ryan Truex, only the second start for him this season. And crew chief Taylor Moyer told me that was one of the reasons why practice was such a struggle here. He feels like the gains that other drivers have made running all the races this year really hampered Ryan Truex in practice. But he felt like he'd be good in the race, and other than losing 6th place to Tyler Reddick, he's having a good run.
Yeah, you mentioned only his second starts. The one start that he had earlier this year, he finished second at ISM Raceway. So very impressive for Ryan Truex, the younger brother of Martin Truex Jr.
Michael Annett made a move right there underneath Riley Herbst. And Steve, let's go back and talk about Tyler Reddick, right? Somebody I know that might be standing right next to me has this really cool saying that at every long run, it also has a short run.
That's right.
So, you know, if you cannot go on the short run, you lose so much ground, you can't make it up. Only 7 laps to go before this stage end. There's no way that Tyler Reddick can make it up. Kelly.
So Justin Allgaier running back there in 5th. Jeff, I know how important driver comfort is for you guys. Well, Justin Allgaier saying that the shield on his helmet is broken. He says it's this clip here. He can't open it to wipe the sweat off his face when he squeezes this. It's just not operating properly to release that shield. He says it's an easy fix. He just can't see to do it. And remember, he is wearing Blake Cook's actual helmet. They wear the same size, and since that was already painted up to match the filter time car that Blake Cook thought he would be running this year, he already had the blue and white helmet, but shield's broken. How big of a deal is that?
You know, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's an annoyance, right? Like you want to, it's a habit, right? To open your shield and reach up there under caution and, you know, wipe your face off. And I don't think that they're going to be making a change. It would take too much time for them to change that. I think they're just going to say, man, you're going to have to deal with it.
This is for 7th. Michael Annett taking the spot away from Ryan Truex.
You see this battle right here in front of them is Reddick in 6th. And the reason I bring that up is fastest car on the racetrack last lap.
Problem is,
has the potential.
Yeah, the problem is that the laps are winding down quickly. Less than 5 laps to go in stage 2. Christopher Bell trying to sweep the stages. He has a 1.7 second lead over Brandon Jones.
That's, I think, the car I'm most impressed with so far, Brandon Jones. When I saw practice, I didn't have the 19, a teammate to Christopher Bell in the 20, but I just didn't have him up there running right next to the 20. But here he is consistently running inside the top 5 after a rough start. Remember, they dropped the green. Parker, that 19, was sliding up the racetrack. They've recovered nicely.
Right, Steve, but his teammate Chris Bell has shown me he has a very strong car down here in turn 3, because every time he enters turn 3, he's entering about a half a car with higher than any other car. The only cars I've seen match him are the 7 and the 2 of Tyler Reddick. What that tells me, though, he has a lot of security in that car. He's able to get a large mark, and it allows him to get off the corner better than anyone. They're going to have to play catch-up to that 20 here if they want to beat him.
And that's great input from Parker Kligerman, who, you know, obviously is a driver, and he understands how important it is on a flat corner like turn 3. We talked about it over and over and over. If you can arc that thing, if you can stay out against the wall a little bit longer and turn it a little bit later, you have to have a ton of grip in your car to be able to do that. You can normally do it, but you never find your groove. Never get it back to the bottom. Being able to do that is a huge advantage, especially down there in turn 3.
Christopher Bell working his way through 3 and 4. And coming back, he will see the white flag on stage 2. One more time around for Christopher Bell, looking to sweep stage 1 and stage 2. He's done it twice before already this year, and both times he went on to win those races. He's the only one who has swept the stages and won the race this season.
And what did he say that he thought their weak spot was? 1.5 miles. He said he thought Custer And he also thought Reddick had a better mile-and-a-half program. They needed to go to work. Well, they've gone to work so far tonight.
Stage 1 winner and now Stage 2 winner. Christopher Bell gets the green and white checkered flag. John Hunter Nemechek and Chase Briscoe will fight for positions. The final point that you get as far as stage points, top 10 all get points, and it's going to go to John Hunter Nemechek. Bell, Stage 1 and Stage 2 winner. Brandon Jones finishing in the top 10 again, this time at second. Cole Custer, Gregson, and Allgaier all in the top 5. A dominant performance up to this point. 70 laps led already for Christopher Bell. Track now completely in the shade as the sun beginning to set here on Kentucky Speedway. 2 stages in the books, getting ready for the 3rd stage. Let's go down to the Peacock pit box and Dale Jr.
Hey guys, I just want to show you a little thing that we got going on at the Dale Jr. Foundation. If you look at the in-car camera for a lot of the guys tonight and tomorrow, you're going to see these skull gloves. This is a campaign that we had last year at Watkins Glen. We're having it this year at Kentucky. These will go to bid. They're being bidded on now. These gloves, I believe, for Christopher are up to $4,000 per Rick Allen up there in the booth.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm just telling you what they are.
Okay.
I didn't bid the $4,025.
Well,
I told you what they were.
Whoever did, we thank you. All this money goes directly to the Nationwide Children's Hospital. There's a fund that me and my wife started. We've raised over $1.5 million. It's for research. No child that goes to that hospital has to pay for treatment. We love the connection. We love the drivers helping us with this program this weekend. Over 50 drivers competing with these gloves.
That's a great program, and obviously when the gloves win the race, I would think the value even goes up higher. And Junior will sign those as well. And here comes those gloves and the cars, Dave Burns.
And Rick, one of the things that could speed up this pit stop this time is for Christopher Bell to get a little closer to the wall. He was asked to do that. He said that the car at the end of the run was a little bit tight, but he really doesn't want to be any freer. He likes how it fires off on the restart. So this will be 4 fresh Goodyear tires and a fill of Sunoco. Kelly?
Well, Brandon Jones in the 19 car said he started off too tight, but by the end of the run, it was just a little bit too loose. He needs an adjustment for some more rear grip, 4 tires and fuel, and then you see the 00 there of Cole Custer. He said it started getting tight around lap 15 and stayed that way, but by the end was loose in the center of turns 1 and 2. 4 tires for him as well, Marty.
Another terrific view of Tyler Reddick's pit stop. He said, we're way too free taking off. We're giving up too much time on the front side. He said, I'm not going to lie. One time, I'm not going to be able to save it. Austin Dillon's crew gained him 2 spots the first time off pit road. I don't know if they gained him any spots this time, though.
I think we'll call this an average pit stop for the 20 because coming onto pit road, race leader did not leave pit road in front. grassroots racing, my track, my roots, all across the country. Over 500 placards were sent out, and you see some of the pictures. We want to hear the stories. We want to hear what you're experiencing at these tracks. So hashtag my track, my roots, and tell us the stories that you're able to experience either at a short track or even when you come to a racetrack like Kentucky Speedway.
So the program works because I've been to a lot of short tracks, and instantly I'm like, Alaska. I haven't been up there.
Yeah.
That might be a good little field trip. We go to Alaska, see some short track racing.
So much great racing all around the country, and if you go to that racetrack, if you see a cool story, if you see a driver you like or a crew member or a story, take that picture and hashtag it. Send it out. Let's talk about it. We want to talk about all the great racing around the country.
A lot of talents all around the country at all of the short tracks in grassroots racing all over the country. Junior, you've got a few stories, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love this campaign for many, many years. Back in the 80s, I think this sport, especially the Cup Series, NASCAR Xfinity, the industry had a great connection and bond with the local short track. And that sort of changed over the years. NBC, NASCAR, there's this huge initiative for us to bridge that gap and support the local track. And I think it's great. So we're all sharing stories online, social media, and so forth. And we're all going to go out and visit these tracks throughout the year and share our experiences. It should be a lot of fun. I'm loving this campaign.
And it looks as though Chase Briscoe is going to choose the outside line. Let's listen into the radio.
The thing of it is, if we start on the bottom and somebody puts us 3 wide into 1, we're a sitting duck. If we start on the top and they take us 3 wide into 1, we're actually going to be in the best position.
Okay, so
I like that.
Yeah.
You can't get trapped on the bottom of the guy in your door with 2 tires. Jeff, you?
Yeah, remember, he had pitted earlier, too. He had that damage, so that enabled them, I think, to do 2 tires here.
And Rick, you talked about the pit stop for the 20. If Christopher Bell continues to lead, continues to lose spots, currently on the inside of row 3, you want to be watching there as these cars roll off into turn 1.
He's got his work cut out in front of him. 104 laps remain in this race from Kentucky.
That inside line, it's just a shorter route to the corner. Brandon Jones, is he clear? He is.
Brandon Jones takes the lead away from Chase Briscoe. And now Briscoe dives to the inside of the track. 2x2 behind him, and look who's in third. Justin Allgaier in the 7 has made his way up into the top 3.
This time, Christopher Bell in that black and red white 20 car, he has not flown through the field on the restart the way he did the first time.
This is going to help him right here. Side by side in front of him. 00 darts away from Allgaier. Let's just slow the 7 down, maybe just enough to get the 20 inside him over here off this corner.
Now, who will he help? Will he run up behind the 7 and try to push him?
And Custer's not clear. Here comes Allgaier back on his outside.
Side drafting at its finest right there. The 7 comes down, slows the 00 down. It's not like the 7 had more motor at that instant. He just slowed the 00 down. Unfortunately, all for naught as the 00 clears him and pulls the 20 through.
Here comes Christopher Bell in the 20. He'll try to take the spot away from Allgaier now at the bottom of the track.
A little bit harder, as you said, Jeff. That pass was easier in the last stage. Now he's working a little bit harder. Actually, perhaps a little under attack from Annette here into turn 1.
Well, on the last restart, everything went his way. He had the bottom lane, and Reddick had that problem. Everybody got up the racetrack, and he had a clear lane to go flying by. He did not get the benefit of that this time, and it's going to be much harder to get back to the front.
There's Tyler Reddick in the 2. You see Chase Briscoe fighting back, trying to take the lead back away from Brandon Jones.
You and I jumped at the same time. What was up with the 19 down the straightaway? He lost 5 car lengths down the backstretch. I didn't see anything, but now it looks like he's up to speed. I was a little confused.
Yeah, something happened. I don't know what happened either. He got really slow entering turn 3.
Hey guys, I just heard Brandon Jones come on the radio to say he's got a little bit of smoke coming in the cabin. So keep an eye on that.
And he's got Chase Briscoe looking to the inside for the lead.
Oh, I hate to hear those reports over the radio when I was a crew chief. Could be anything, engine, electrical. Motor sounds off. This is what it looks like.
Up the racetrack he goes, and right by goes Chase Briscoe. Here comes that 00 of Cole Custer as well.
And I know Doug Yates has an impressive motor program, but look at this right here. Just driving right by that Toyota. Just seems like the 19 doesn't have the speed down the straightaways.
Flies through the corner.
Yeah.
Look how fast he is in the corner.
But now it looks like it's okay. I think it's an intermittent miss maybe, or
Kelly.
And this will just rip the heart out of Brandon Jones if they do have an issue that continues. They have had 5 DNFs already. They said it feels more like 8 because a lot of times they've been running laps down with damage on their car for a myriad of reasons. And every time on those 5 DNFs, they've been running top 5. And here we go again.
Oh, they never break when they're slow, Jeff. They never break when they're slow.
And Kelly, it's a great report from Kelly because that's how it's been with his 19 car. When they've had good runs, they've had something go wrong, and they just cannot get a solid foothold underneath them. They have good speed, a lot of races, but they just can't finish the races and have a clean night.
A lot of pressure put there on Justin Allgaier as Christopher Bell has taken the spot away from him. So Bell now moves up into 3rd, chasing after Briscoe and Custer.
I don't think we can say enough about, you see right here, it's Jeff Mendering at the top of the screen, the crew chief for the 19. Tyler Reddick kind of a tab, a little, you know, there's some laps that it seems like he's off and some not. And now we go to the front, 2 Fords lead the field. Briscoe and Custer. What a run by Briscoe on those 2 tires.
Remember, these are teammates out of the same shop. Oh, he's,
yeah, there's the smoke.
Yeah, he's getting really slow now.
Yeah, I'm starting to smell that again.
Yeah, seeing the smoke coming out now is, this is for the lead. Briscoe in front of Cole Custer.
And remember last night, Brandon Jones was battling for the win. He was battling for the win and got in a wreck.
Yeah, just bring it to me.
Out of his doing.
Bring it to me.
Now you're hearing radio for the 19, bring it to me.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be smoking if it's a plug wire, unfortunately.
Optimistic,
right?
Yeah. That's what
optimistic driver and a realistic crew chief right there. He's seen enough of these.
Try to be positive. He has such a great race car, but now he has to make his way onto pit road. And again, the smoke continuing out the back of that car.
Let me tell you something. Brandon Jones could have won this race tonight. He had enough speed to win this race tonight. And there is no question about that. This is just heartbreaking.
So these 2 Fords right here, they better figure out what they're getting ready to do, because look who's in the picture. It has taken longer, Jeff, as you mentioned, but the 20 of Bell, he races like a veteran. He picks and chooses his way through traffic, didn't put his car in any sort of risk. And as these 2 kind of run nose to tail, Bell consistently runs a tenth and a half quicker than the 2 leaders.
Trying to diagnose what's going on with Brandon Jones' car up on the top of your screen. What, as a crew chief, what are you looking for here, Steve? What are they trying to figure out?
As a crew chief, I'm basically satisfying the engine guys right now because I've already pushed her back to the truck. I think, listen, you just know, or when I raced, 1 engine problem a year probably was going to happen because that's the same team and company that gives you great power at every other race. Can't have one without the other. I think they're just making sure perhaps it's not an oil line and a plug wire off. I mean, it would take an odd combination to be down on power and smoke, something you can repair on pit road.
So you saw right there at 00 Cole Custer. He went to the top in 1 and 2 to see if he could get a run.
Now through the bottom of 3 and 4.
So now, if he can stay close enough to him, can he try a different lane? Can he try that upper groove? Try to make it work.
Briscoe pulls away just a bit, about a car length in between the 2. They run the same line through the bottom of 1 and 2, and now it's less than a half a second that Bell is back.
Briscoe, this is going to be a hard pass. Chase Briscoe is a hungry race car driver. You see right now, Cole Custer got a good run.
Custer trying to take the lead away, and lurking in the back is the 20 of Christopher Bell.
And how about Bell? As soon as he got to him, he said, I'm not messing around. I'm going to the second lane.
Trying to take second away from Briscoe, and Bell moves up to second.
Tell you, Bell on pit road today during qualifying. I said, hey man, how's your car? And he played it kind of coy. I said, well, I think I've got something to work with that grin. That Christopher Bell grin, like, it's really good. I didn't say it was really good, but I feel really good about it.
Well, remember, they've lost probably over 10 spots on pit road alone. So they have had a tough time on pit road that Christopher Bell's been able to battle back, and now he's in position where he can fight for the lead once again.
And that 20 can run the top or the bottom in turns 1 and 2. That makes it very difficult to defend.
So now I think if you're Custer, I think you show him different things. I don't think you run the same lap every time. You just saw him run the top over 1 and 2. Run the bottom once, run the top once. Make Christopher Bell guess which lane you're going to go to.
The gap, 0.3 of a second between Cole Custer and Christopher Bell. Those two fighting for the lead as we go NASCAR nonstop. Cole Custer continues to lead the Alsco 300. And remember, tomorrow it's racing under the lights for the Monster Energy Cup Series here on NBCSN. That race starting at 7:30, coverage starting at 7:30.
A lot of question marks for the race tomorrow night. All year long we've talked about this really high downforce, low power package that the Cup cars have. I wish I could tell you I know what to expect, but I don't know, and I'm not sure the garage area knows. A lot of unknowns. Make for a very interesting night, Rick.
I am greatly encouraged, though, watching this racetrack. The grooves open up in 1 and 2. I am very much encouraged that the drivers will have different places to go, and I think that's huge for that package they run on the mile and a half.
A lot of frustration, I'm sure, for Brandon Jones. Let's hear from him. Kelly's with him.
Yeah, frustrating, heartbreaking. I don't know, a number of words probably for you, Brandon Jones, up there running up front. How much do you know about what's gone on with the engine?
A lot of smoke in the cab. I couldn't really get the motor over 7,000 RPM, so kind of a telltale sign for me that the motor was letting go there at the end. Twice this weekend we've been leading the race and something's taken us out, whether it's been mechanical or an incident on the racetrack. So what are you going to do? We've been running first both races this week, and that's what we got to do, you know, at least on my behalf. So I hate it. We had Menards, we had Swiffer on the car this weekend. It was going great for us. I think we had the car to win the race tonight, but all in all, these guys worked really hard, and I think they're all behind me, and we're going to get this thing figured out.
How do you stay positive knowing that you did have such a fast race car?
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. It's all about realizing where you're running when this stuff's happening. So we continue to run top 5. We continue to lead laps. This pit crew I had tonight was awesome. They were really getting me out front there. So you put all that together, and we're going to keep going. These guys got a lot of momentum built up behind them, so I think next week will be good.
Thank you, Brandon and Rick. The crew continues to try to work and remedy the 19.
Yeah, figure out what actually happened there, as we saw the 7 of Allgaier throw it in there and just pass, flat out pass Briscoe, but then slid up the racetrack. Put a lot of effort into making that pass.
Yeah, and bravo for Brandon Jones, a 22-year-old leading a race, as he mentioned, 2 times this weekend, and things that he didn't feel or they're outside his control. That engine definitely is. It's learn a lot about guys when things go wrong. And he's absolutely right. Running up front, things will end up your way eventually.
Young man has a really good attitude. Had a chance to spend quite a bit of time with him. He's got it buttoned up. He's a smart young man. He's going to be in victory lane in one of these Xfinity cars soon. I really believe that.
Chevrolet helmet cam here worn by Tyler Reddick as we watch him chase after Michael Annett in that one right in front of him. And some lap traffic coming up here in front of these two.
I know it's about the mid-year. We're just past Daytona. If you're giving out awards, you want to talk about most improved, most focused. I could use a bunch of different terms. Michael Annett in this one car has to get that award. Not just because of the win at Daytona. Why, that is the obvious one. It's not just one win, Jeff. This is clearly 4 or 5 spots ahead of where they consistently ran last year, and he is doing it every single week. He just seems like a new guy in interviews. He seems very focused, very positive. Travis Mack on top of the box. Whatever combination they have, whatever conversations they're having, they're working. And it's great to see. Great to see someone who's been in the sport as long as Michael running well.
Right now, Michael Annett back in the 5th position, being chased by Tyler Reddick. Up front, the 2 winningest drivers in 2019, Cole Custer and Christopher Bell, both with 4 wins already. Dave?
Rick, let me give you tonight's Toyota driver update. That will be for Christopher Bell, who runs in 2nd. Thing they've improved on here, running 1.5-mile tracks. His crew chief told me that they wanted to get better on the long runs. They're showing that. Not quite as good as the 00 right now, but that's the plus. On the downside, the pit stops. We've mentioned it before. Several positions lost on pit road when he was the leader. He's won both of the first 2 stages. There's no problem down here in terms of equipment or anything. It's just one of those nights for the crew, and they've got one more shot here probably coming up soon to get him on and off of pit road and hold their position or improve.
It's going to sound odd because you would think under green flag conditions with the cars running 180 miles an hour, a slower pit stop would be a bigger concern, but it's actually the opposite. Under yellow, with everybody on pit road at the same time bunched together, 1 second off on a pit stop could be 5-6 positions. 1 second slower under green, while it is a second on the racetrack, it might not even be a position with the, 3-second lead he has over Allgaier currently.
So right now, Christopher Bell, what's going through his mind, okay? So he's dominated this race. Now Custer, he's watching Custer drive away from him. So now he's got to be pinpointing exactly what he needs. Right now, he's got to be giving that team the information. I need to turn better. I'm too free, whatever that is. So they have time to think, and they have time to work on the car. Can't wait till the caution comes out, right, Steve, and say, I need this, right? Right now is the time that they can start formulating a plan. And he didn't need a plan earlier, right? He had the best car. He was dominating. But now they're going to have to come up with a plan to figure out how to beat Custer.
Could this be a glimpse of the championship race? We see Cole Custer, Christopher Bell, maybe Allgaier is that 4th that gets thrown into the championship for. He's currently running in the 3rd position.
So listen, on that, you know, the speed of Reddick the last few weeks has kind of gone away, right? We haven't seen him dominating and making the best lap time, you know. So looks like Custer is kind of taking control of this race. He's the guy, when I say race, the point race, he's the guy that's saying, okay, I got the most speed. You're going to have to come take it from me. A lot of momentum going with him.
14, 15 laps, Rick. I expect to see green flag pit stops.
Cole Custer, who said he's an introvert, you can't be that in racing. You've got to sell yourself. And right now, he's selling himself to everyone watching as he runs up front, running very well here in Kentucky.
giving you the information, though, Jeff, to let you know, hey, and I know I'd like to run maybe 20 more laps, but in 8 or 9, we're inside our window. Just so as a driver, you know, listen, try to get me 9. I can't tell you if you have an issue or not, but give you all the information.
And hey, now we're in our window. So if you think you have a problem, yeah, come on and come to me. It's not going to hurt us if you do. I tell you what, he's not afraid. He's up there. He's up there in that upper lane, full of throttle.
See Tyler Reddick's last lap, almost 174 miles an hour.
You can roll 252, still no pressure off the bat.
And now he's gotten to the quarter panel. What can he do with him?
Outside door, he's chasing a little bit tight on you. Back off you by 1 door.
He'll clear that 98, and Tyler Reddick takes the 4th position away. Cole, Custer, Bell, Allgaier, Reddick, Briscoe, the top 5. Let's go through the field. We'll start with Kelly.
And we'll start at the top there with Cole Custer, who's now led 30 laps in this race. Just 2 career wins coming into 2019 and 4 already this season. When I asked him what the difference is, he said it's been a few things. A combination of new personnel, including crew chief Mike Shiplett, and he has more confidence in his restarts and working his way through traffic. He said now he shows up to the racetrack feeling like he should be competing for a win every single time. He said it's confidence, but not blind confidence, Marty. Excuse me, Dave.
Yep, Christopher Bell in 2nd now has seen the gap grow to over 2 seconds. No complaints about the handling of the race car right now, but Christopher is seeing that finishing the corner is really the hardest part for him right now. He does well through here, but coming off the corner, not quite where he wants it to be, Kelly.
Justin Allgaier now running 3rd. He looks comfortably in to make it to the playoffs based on points alone, but still winless. Remember last year he had 5 wins and all sorts of playoff points. That's what he's lacking this time around, but he's hoping that this season they'll start to peak at the right time and be able to have a little more successful postseason in 2019 than they did 2018, Marty.
Randall Burnett just told Tyler Reddick, he said, listen, it took us 40 laps to go from 8th to 4th. We can't afford that. Tell me what you need. He said, I'm way too free in 1 and 2. We can't give up time early in this run. They're going to pit in about 9 laps. Behind him, Chase Briscoe led 12 laps. A good run for this 98 team, but he's having a problem on his radio. Very distracting for the driver. Take a listen.
Somebody's mic stuck. Still stuck is what I'm asking, because I took my radios off about 5 seconds there. Should it go away at any time?
Have radio issues?
Here's him at all if he's been talking.
I had it for the last couple laps. We had a little radio issues. Tell me if you think it's my radio or not, I guess what I'm asking.
Oh, and the drivers will tell you, so distracting when someone's key is open and the radio is just wide open. The driver hears all of that. Back in 6th, Michael Annett, who's staring down his 5th straight top 6 finish at 1.5 miles. And they had a problem with the right front tire, a tire rub earlier in the race. They fixed that. He's still moving forward, Kelly.
Well, aside from last week's 15th place finish at Daytona, Noah Gragson has been on a tear of top 10 finishes, and he told me a difference really came after the Charlotte race back in May. He said the team got together, they really regrouped, they did some personality assessments, and since then they've really been able to communicate better. He and crew chief David Ellens, he says, it's been paying dividends. It shows he leads the Rookie of the Year standings, Marty.
Boy, has this been a solid night for Riley Herbst. He truly has not been out of the top 10 all evening long. I had a chance to chat with his dad, Troy Herbst, earlier today, and he said all this seat time Riley is getting has made a difference. 8 Xfinity races this year. Trucks, ARCA, K&N, late models, and Trans Am. That's translated maybe into a top 10 tonight, Dave.
Marty, Ryan Truex's car was very loose at the beginning of this run. They're considering putting just 2 tires on in this final stop. That would automatically, usually, tighten the car up. John Hunter Nemechek about 15 laps ago, running in 10th place, said to his crew, it has come to life. So in the later stages of the run, he is happy with his race car. As for Ryan Sieg right now, the end of his run, the car is tightening up just a little bit too much for his liking. Hard to steer that car right now, Marty.
Dave, the Cup winner, Justin Haley from Daytona last week, is sitting back there in the 12th position, and with the damage he has on his race car, I'm sure Chris Rice would take this one. Still on the lead lap after that contact earlier in the race. We ride on board with him, and he's sitting in 12th.
12 cars on the lead lap. Cole Custer, though, setting a blistering pace. He's got his sights set on Haley as we go NASCAR nonstop.
Green flag pit stops underway here at Kentucky Speedway. That is the 9 of Noah Gregson. He said that his car has just been getting tighter and tighter throughout this run. It looks like it's going to be a 4 Goodyear tire stop, Dave.
We're calling John Hunter Nemechek to bring it down any time now. So the driver of the 23 is in and he is out.
Oh, and definitely don't want to see that.
With a wrench in the window.
Yes.
He'll be coming back.
Equipment leaving the box, so John Hunter Nemechek will have to serve a penalty. Marty.
Hey, Rick, for a young driver, Riley Herbst, green flag stops. We'll see if he can gain some spots here. He was running 8th when he came down pit road. They've been having problems with the car being too tight for him all night long. And because all these guys are taking 2 cans of fuel, most of them selecting 4 fresh Goodyear tires as well. And you see that second can of Sunoco fuel going in for Riley, who's, again, had a terrific night, Kelly.
There's the 7 of Dustin Allgaier. He said that he was just too tight with nothing to lean on. He had lost grip. He needs a little bit more rear security in that 7 filter time car. 4 tires and fuel, Marty.
You see Tyler Reddick at the very head of pit road. At first, Randall Burnett said, we're going to stay out till to 155. I don't think I need to come now, but they decided to come anyway. They're trying to make it better at the front end of the run. You saw the wedge adjustment. We'll see what happens, Kelly.
There's the leader, Cole Custer. He had pulled out to a nearly 3-second lead, but told his crew chief, Mike Shiplett, that he was starting to get a little bit tight running out front. It's 4 Goodyear tires, air pressure adjustment, Sunoco fuel.
And now it'll be the 0 and 2 where they will come out in relation. It was 2.7 seconds that the 20 was behind the 0.
One thing that's going to save the 0, the 20 has caught some traffic here. He hasn't had the best laps. The first 2 laps he ran were blistering fast. This traffic is hurting him as he goes around the top. We're going to see right here. He's down the backstretch. 0 in sight. Momentum quickly. He's pointing.
0 shaking the car, trying to get that thing warmed up as he just came off of pit road. He stays in front of the 20.
2.7 second lead evaporated by staying on the racetrack a couple extra laps.
But now the adjustments for Christopher Bell, were they the right ones? Can he reel in that 0 and catch him?
Well, I agree with you. I think the 0 got very lucky right there that he caught lap traffic. Christopher Bell caught him. That slowed his lap time down, lost about a second in those 2 laps, just stuck with lap traffic. Without that, he's leading this race, and Cole Custer's got to go back by him.
Look at this mess right here. The 0 got caught up a little bit. The 20's going to shoot the gap, try to keep the momentum. The battle is on. Even with 47 to go, Christopher Bell knows this might be his best chance. He doesn't know if the yellow's going to come out. A run ago, the 0 drove away, and look at this run by the 20.
Yeah, good run. He ran the middle. Cole Custer did not have good grip in 1 and 2. Bell did.
Now Bell dives to the bottom of the racetrack. No, he's going to stay up behind him.
Oh, he lost the nose.
In the middle of the track, he loses the nose, slides up the track, and he'll lose track position.
He just got right behind Custer, and it just took the air off his whole car. Really didn't just lose the nose, lost the entire grip.
And we're looking at these 2. Cindric is the race leader. He's yet to come to pit road. He's staying out. It's a great strategy move by him. It's his only chance. That's them passing Cindric right here. These guys will become the leader. This is basically the race for the lead once the 22 comes to pit road, or they've gone by.
Yeah, they went past him now. So Cindric back into 3rd, but he still has to come to pit road. And you hear Bell in and out of the gas there.
Unless Bell and his team made really, really good adjustments, that was the pass that he needed to make. Because now he has a little older tires.
1 shot, right? You get 1 shot.
We'll see. I'm not so sure that that was the last caution that we've seen. We go NASCAR nonstop. Custer now has 0.8 of a second lead over Bell as they run 1 and 2. Cindric will be on pit road now, and that means Reddick will move up to third. The big three are running 1, 2, 3. Want to clean up the pit stops. The 7 was caught for speeding, so Allgaier with the speeding penalty. Herbst had passed through too many boxes, so he had to come back to pit road. And then we saw the 23 of Nemechek removing equipment from the box, so he had to serve that penalty as well. Want to listen in to Cole Custer's radio.
That fast, you're dipping that splitter just a little bit. It'll come to you, bud. Get your marks here.
Let me know what he does at 1 and 2.
Focus forward. 13 showing 26, driving just like you and getting tied off. He loses the car win. Driving away. Don't worry about him. We just got to get through these lap cars, bud. You're doing good.
Interesting there, when he was asking about what Bell was doing, the response was focus forward.
Well, and I liked when he said it was too tight. The crew chief didn't just say it's going to get better. He gave him a reason. Low air pressure, the tire squishes more, just like a flat balloon or a flat basketball. The car's lower, the splitter's on the asphalt. Take a weight off those tires. Listen, when that air pressure builds up, that splitter's going to get off. It's going to turn better. Do you believe him?
If it's that crew chief, yes, because he's won enough of them. He's won over 20 Xfinity races. Yep. He tells me something, I'm going to believe him.
I agree. I agree.
Mike Shiplett we're talking about there with Cole Custer.
And now I think it really comes down to obviously mistakes, but we don't expect these two drivers to make mistakes. But not just a mistake of your own car, maybe catching a lap car at the wrong time, doing something wrong, driving your car a little inappropriate, like hard on the right front and make it build tight. You know, you got to understand there's still 40 laps to go. We have seen, think about Chicago in the Cup race. We saw Larson run down Alex Bowman, swap positions, all of that.
Dave.
Not sure if Christopher Bell's car will be there for him or not. He radioed about 3 laps ago. It is tight. It was tight as it fired off, and it's still tight. Now, credit Jason Ratcliffe for bringing him down pit road, the first of all the leaders. That gained all that time. The crew had a good stop, but the car, as far as balance goes, is not where Christopher wants it right now, Marty.
And Dave, here we are, 38 to go, and guess who's the top 3? The big 3, Cole Custer, Christopher Bell, and Tyler Reddick sitting in third right now. And they've talked about his car needing more fire-off speed all evening long. For much of the year, Tyler Reddick was the man to beat at these mile-and-a-half races. But you look at the last 2 mile-and-a-half tracks. Chicago, they finished 9th. Today, they're running 3rd. Steve, I think this team feels like they've got some homework to do if they want to win a championship in Miami.
Yeah, and you can see the frustration. They're 3rd, which you would think would be good, but they know their 2 championship rivals are 1st and 2nd.
You know why he's frustrated? He just ran a 30.25. The leader ran a 30.59. So
right.
he's like, Randall's like, we got this great car, but we're too far away. And that's one thing that happens that's really odd, is that a lot of times a car will fire off. A car will fire off under a green flag pit stop and be fine on restart. Like it fires off fine, but in traffic, it's too loose. We see that over and over and over. Don't really know how to explain that. You see, you talked about lap traffic. Will this slow the 00 down trying to get by these guys? Look at Bell, he's running down.
That was not a good lap right there. Christopher Bell took basically 0.4 of a second, chopped the lead way down.
And 0.7 of a second for Reddick. 0.5 of a second for Reddick as he runs a 30.49. But Reddick again 10 seconds behind Cole Custer, and Reddick continues to turn the fastest laps.
This is what this series needs, though. Not a runaway winner, right? Cole Custer is getting better because Christopher Bell is forcing him to be better. The pressure out the mirror.
And John Nemechek, he is not just going to pull over right here, nor should he.
He's 1 down. 2 down is very hard, if not impossible, to come back from. 1 down, you can still get a little break on the yellow, so he's going to continue to battle.
And as Cole Custer goes by, he falls to 2 laps down now for John Hunter Nemechek, who's running in the 14th position. Right now, only 7 cars on the lead lap. That's what this long green flag run has done for the field. And Cole Custer, the pace that he continues to set, the top 5 have continued to be the fastest 5 on the racetrack every lap.
Yeah, and then you see Mike Chiplett on the left side, crew chief for the 00 of Cole Custer. That last lap, interesting, the 20 of Christopher Bell running second, ran the top I think his engineer just told him, hey, that's the hand signal for the top, the right hand up. So right here's Custer, and look at the 20 back here. Well, he might run the top now because of traffic, but I was going to say he ran the top kind of on his own. Like he thought it was better for his race car. That is the international sample for the top, right? Like the chop hand.
Yeah. Before the race started, we said that the big three were going to be the ones that you would have to fight for the win here at Kentucky. Well, it's showing right now again. Custer, Bell, and Reddick, 1, 2, 3 as we go NASCAR nonstop.
Welcome back to Kentucky Motor Speedway. Watching Cole Custer dominate this race. Dale Jr. up here on the pit box. Got some company though.
Yeah, man. Thanks for inviting me up here. They let me out of turn 3 finally. It took a while to get back in. I had to prove security that I belong.
Yeah.
Once they let me in, I came my way over here.
Pretty awesome night for Cole Custer. He did this at Chicago. Kind of seeing this team rise above the big three. Your take on his effort tonight?
Well, I think one thing that maybe we haven't really talked too much about is just this race started in the daytime. You know, really, when I was down there in turn 3, it was hot. There was sun shining on it, shining around the racetrack, and we've gone to the nighttime here. You know, the tables have turned a little bit. You saw Christopher Bell be really good in the daytime, but now the handle's gone away from him. And then this is the modus operandi, that 00 team all year in the mile and a half, right? They get to the lead, and then no one can touch them. And I mean, it's just been very impressive with Mike Shiflett, Cole Custer have been doing on these mile and a half, because those things are fast. I'd like to drive one of those. That looks really cool to do.
Yeah, Mike Shiflett seems to have the hot ticket. Guy's won a lot of races with a lot of different drivers over the years, and he's dominating this year. Cole Custer. Cole was really good at Homestead. I'm putting Cole Custer as my favorite right now. Looking at the championship battle, who really kind of has the speed they're going to need. Looking at this racetrack, though, we know got a lot of Cup guys watching this race and trying to see how this BJ1 is going to work and how drivers are using it. Kind of seeing not a real advantage to the high side in turn 1 and 2. It seems like everybody is committed to that BJ1 and 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's what I've been noticing too. It's like 1 and 2, it's just, you know, the shortest radius is the fastest way around. You can use that high lane if you need to get clean air and traffic, but if you're running by yourself, you want to be painting that yellow line. But down in 3 and 4, I've definitely seen a little bit more movement. I feel like, you know, using the higher lanes, especially if the tires wear a little bit, and getting up they're just getting larger arms, which bodes well for the Cup car, because in those Cup cars, you got to find clean air. And so I think that has some Cup drivers at least excited that that opportunity and that option is out there.
Absolutely. Watching turn 1 and 2, seeing some of them guys use that PJ1, looks like they're getting higher and higher. I kind of wonder if there's any concern about that PJ1 sort of losing its effect down there.
Yeah.
And if this track's cooled down, we got under shade in turn 1 and 2 around 8:30. And that, to me, would bring that bottom groove into effect, or make it better, make it probably the more preferred line for late in the race. So pretty interesting stuff. And I'm sure we're going to have to see some pretty exciting restarts tomorrow with the rule package that the Cup guys have. Got a great battle right here. Michael Annett trying to close in. He's been trying to pass Briscoe for, seems like 100 laps now. Get the job done, yeah.
Briscoe's been holding on, man. They took that 2 tires to get track position early in the race. He's done a really impressive job once they got on the same cycle, staying up there, running well. He's had some interesting battles there. He had Cole Custer and Christopher Bell drove by him, but since then he's been holding his own in the top 5. We'll see if he can hold off Michael Annett. I just want to see a restart.
Yeah.
I want to see that Christopher Bell and Tyler Reddick and Cole Custer duke it out on a late race restart. I think that'd be awesome.
I got to agree with you. I think it's great for Briscoe to be able to run up front, run around these guys, get that experience. Just like when the Cup guys drop down, you see a couple Cup guys get the race, and you get the run around, and you learn quite a bit. Get some confidence too in yourself when you go out there and beat them. Him running up here in the top 5 has definitely built a lot of confidence in that game.
Yeah, you want to talk about confidence. The driver of that one car, Michael Annett, winning Daytona this year, and we've been talking about it all season. I feel like he has really turned things around. And I mean, he keeps reeling off runs like this. A great run at Chicagoland. I mean, he's running down Chase Briscoe here, who's won the Xfinity Series last year in a road course. And Chase, the thing about Chase, you got to remember, is he always kind of comes on late. Won late in the Truck Series, his first campaign there. Was a contender to make the playoffs and stay in them if he didn't have an issue at Talladega. So I think there's more to come from Chase Briscoe when we get later in this season. Maybe he'll pull off the same thing we saw in the trucks. But Michael Annett getting that run on the inside. He's going to make that pass down to 1.
Let's see if it sticks. Thanks, Parker, for coming over here and visiting me.
Appreciate it.
A little lonely. Not used to being down here by myself. Back up to the booth.
Well, we think you're enjoying yourself down there. It seems like you're enjoying the racing, so appreciate that input. As we saw Michael Annett get by, the right front, it looks like the side skirt is coming loose a little bit. We saw it flapping a little bit on the 1.
Yeah, NASCAR had to mandate what material is used for all those things as teams kind of played tricks, and you see right there, it's very thin material. And you know, this racetrack can be rough down on the apron. You never know if you hit a piece of rubber on the racetrack, but it doesn't help downforce. You want that sealed off on the right side. But nice move by Michael Annett. Worked hard on the 98 of Chase Briscoe. Nice textbook pass. Moves into the 4th position. Keep talking about the big 3 and who? Well, Michael Annett's the other guy that won a race, and here he is. The 4 cars that have won a race this year that are eligible for the playoffs, they're first through 4.
Do you guys remember who you picked as your sleepers before this race started?
Mine's running 6.
You have an idea? You want to pick somebody new? I kind of do.
No, I mean,
you're going to stick with yours?
Okay. It's okay.
All right, Junior, who was your pick?
I had Cindric coming out here as the winner. I really felt like this is a great opportunity for him at a racetrack that this team and this company's had success at before. They're trying to break a 25 race winless streak, and I just think eventually they're going to get that done. Not tonight. Running 14th.
I had Ryan Truex. Ryan Truex back there in 7th. Not quite the run I thought they would have, but first opportunity to run a mile and a half for this driver with this team. That's a big adjustment. I think he's done a solid job tonight. He'll come out of here and be better. I think he's running New Hampshire next week.
How about another junior motorsports car? Noah Gragson in 9. Running 6th. Last car in the lead lap. Yes. 6th. Last car in the lead lap.
Yeah.
The leaders are putting on such a pace. But, you know, kind of an uneventful day. Just what Noah needs, right? Kind of build that memory bank of how to do this. Good run for Noah.
Long green flag runs have put the 22-year-old John Hunter Nemechek in that 23 back in the 13th position, but 2 laps down now. We saw when Cole Custer went by, it put him a 2nd lap down, running in 13th position. And when we mentioned Cole Custer a year ago won of the championship 4, and he was predicted to be the favorite because of how well he runs at that racetrack at Homestead Miami Speedway. Such success on that track, and then was upset by Tyler Reddick. But Christopher Bell, the heir apparent to the next seats at Joe Gibbs Racing, has had incredible success in the Xfinity Series. probably the overall favorite for the championship when the season started this year. Already 4 wins for Christopher Bell. And then Tyler Reddick, currently running in the 3rd position. Tyler Reddick wins the championship. A year ago, running for Junior Motorsports, the 23-year-old has gone on to put 3 wins on the board already this year and currently running 3rd in this race.
Going forward with Tyler Reddick with his helmet cam.
And let's listen into the radio for Tyler Reddick.
No pressure on the back. We just need to keep our fingers crossed for a caution. That's going to be our only way we're going to have a shot at this thing. P3 right now.
And he's 14 seconds back now. He was 10 seconds back. So that shows you what kind of a lap time Cole Custer's been putting up, because Christopher Bell now 2.6 seconds. Again, that was the gap when they came to pit road. It was about 2.6 seconds that separated 1 and 2.
There's the leader, the 00, and in front of that 35 is that light blue number 9 of the 6th place competitor. It's an impressive run. And remember, Christopher Bell dominated the 1st and 2nd stage, winning both after having bad pit stops. Recovered and drove right to the front, but a bad pit stop at the end of the 2nd stage got him behind, and he came back up through the field, but it seemed like the 00 either made improvements or the sun went down, or a little bit of both has helped this 00. And there have been runs by Christopher Bell early on, and the 00 fends them off and then pulls away to a gap.
Marty, how about Chase Briscoe still on the lead lap?
Yeah, let's give a call to him. Of course, the young dirt racer from Indiana announced this week that he'll run Eldora, the race he won last year in the Truck Series for Thor Sport Racing and for Ford. But looking at another top 5 here, Chase Briscoe having a nice evening. And I think for 2 reasons. Number 1, remember, he hit the wall very early in the race, never was panicked. And number 2, he told me before the race, this is by far my worst 1.5 mile track. I've come here 3 times. I've wrecked 3 times. Well, he technically hit the wall now a 4th time, but it looks like this is going to wind up being a top 5. So, Jeff, just wondering, you ever come to a track that you didn't have a lot of confidence going into, but you wound up having a good day and it kind of turned things around for you?
Yeah, I think that for this whole season, for this team right here, you know, when you sit down and talk to Chase, you know, he's a little down. Like, he feels like he can win races and feels like he can make it happen, and it just hadn't had the kind of year he was hoping to have. So this kind of night can turn things around for him.
Up front, that 00, driven by Cole Custer, the 21-year-old for Stewart-Haas Racing. Now, every driver in NASCAR, every stock car driver wants to compete at the highest level. Well, so does Cole Custer. When that position opens up, when that opportunity is there, he wants to be able to capitalize on it. Well, he's doing his part right now in the Xfinity Series, leading this race. This could be his 5th win already this season.
Yeah, 2nd place, Christopher Bell in the Joe Gibbs Racing number 20. He's had a great car, won the 1st stage, won the 2nd stage. Trouble on pit road kind of put him behind. He won this race a year ago. His only Xfinity Series start at Kentucky, went to victory lane. It looked like he was well on his way to victory lane again, but the 00 had other thoughts. He's got out to the lead and has not given it up.
Tyler Reddick back there running in 3rd. You know, he got his first win here in the Xfinity Series back in 17. And in every race he's ever run here, trucks, Xfinity, he's always finished in the top 10. You have to know this is one of his favorite racetracks, and they're going to feel good leaving here. They had good speed late in this run, but they're going to have to find a way to have more takeoff speed as they move forward with these 1.5 mile racetracks.
Right behind Reddick in the 1 is Michael Annette. The family trucking business has given him the opportunity to try to live his dreams out racing in the Xfinity Series. And he started off the season getting his very first ever Xfinity Series win, and it was the big one at Daytona. So now Michael Annette running in the top 4 here at Kentucky, and just behind him Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, the 98 Chase Briscoe, 5th position, last car in the lead lap, if you can believe it. Has put a nice race together. Remember, this is a Stewart-Haas Racing Ford, a teammate to the 00 of Cole Custer. It has to be good for Chase Briscoe to close that gap to his teammate. While they still want to make gains, he's right there inside the top 5. A great run for the 98.
And Briscoe is about to have a mirrorful of the 00 of Cole Custer, because Cole Custer is clicking off laps at about 30.7 seconds. and Briscoe is 29.3 seconds behind him.
You know, Rick, sometimes a performance just needs to be celebrated, and I think that's what we're seeing right here. Not out of just Cole Custer, but even Christopher Bell, because he has lapped everyone looking like he's going to lap the 5th place competitor. Yet Christopher Bell is only 2 seconds behind. These two have separated themselves. We talk about the big three. The numbers defend the big three. Well, this performance tonight proves that we're not making that up. The numbers don't lie. They are hands down the fastest three at the Xfinity Series.
And we talk about a confidence builder for a guy like Chase Briscoe. Well, what about Cole Custer? Cole Custer was open. I mean, he's like, look, we're not as good as Bell. Bell's better than we are today. Well, guess what? They found a way to make their car better. And when you're a race car driver and you know the people behind you can make your car better and make the adjustments needed, that gives you a ton of confidence. Even if you're not running as well as you are at that point, they're going to find a way to give you what you need.
He just wants to see that white, Rick. And once he sees that white, he knows that a yellow will end the race, not give it a restart.
And this time by, he will see the white as he comes out of turn 4. 1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank. Cole Custer, his 2 previous best finishes at this racetrack are both 5th. But the amazing thing about Cole Custer is over the last 6 races, including this one, it will be 3 wins, 50% of the races. The last 6 races, Cole Custer will be going to victory lane. Coming into this season, he only had 2 career wins, and this is career win number 7. 5 wins on the season for Cole Custer. He wins here in Kentucky.
Guys, great recovery from today's event. Proud of everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ford, for everything you do for us. Cole, do your burnout. Stop at the start-finish line. Do your interview.
Almost businesslike on the radio there. Great job, everyone. Cole, do your burnout. Stop on start-finish line. Do your interview.
You've won 22 of these things as a crew chief. You're a pretty cool customer. Great hire by this team, bringing Mike Shiflett in when he was at Ganassi and all that fell apart with sponsorship issues, and opened the door for him to come here. And what a pairing with he and Cole Custer.
Steve, you put it best. When we see something like this, a lot of times people will go, oh my gosh, he killed everyone. This needs to be celebrated. This was an incredible performance. We mentioned the top 3, the big 3 right now in the Xfinity Series. They are not easy competition to win races against. Christopher Bell already has 4 wins this season. Tyler Reddick has 3 wins this season. Well, now Cole Custer has 5 wins, and he really dominated the final stage of this race. Cole Custer ended up leading 88 laps of this race here in Kentucky after it looked like Christopher Bell was going to dominate. Introvert Cole Custer climbs out of the car, and he becomes an extrovert after winning the race. Parker.
How about that, Kentucky? This 21-year-old driver, what a performance. Cole Custer's gonna get that helmet off. We're gonna talk to him in a second here. Cole, I gotta ask you, 5 wins on the series here, series leading 5 wins. Can you believe this season?
It's been unbelievable. I mean, I think this one just goes to my team. I mean, that car was just unbelievable at the end. They knew exactly what to do with it when the track changed, and I was just lucky to drive it there at the end. But I just can't thank Gene Haas and everybody Haas Innovation. I mean, you don't get cars like that very often. I just can't thank everybody enough.
We saw after the green flag stop, Christopher Bell got very close there. Were you worried at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was a little bit too conservative on my green flag pit stop, but it just worked out good. It got a little bit closer. I was definitely sweating a little bit, but we had a fast enough car to pull away at the end.
What do you want to say to all these fans that came out here tonight?
Yeah, thank you guys for coming out.
How about it, Kentucky? That's your winner, Cole Custer.
And again, businesslike. He'll put the helmet, the Hans device, inside the car. He will nonchalant walk up and grab the checkered flag for the 5th time this season. Cole Custer winning and dominating the end of the race at Kentucky. 1-2 stages, so 2 more playoff points for him.
And they have separated themselves from Tyler Reddick with playoff points. They are starting to get away from Tyler. He's not getting those playoff points that he needs. That's going to make it harder for him.
Steve, you mentioned Michael Annett could be that 4th as far as the championship 4.
Sometimes there's no reason to argue with the numbers. And listen, he's the 4th name in yellow, the 4th one with wins this year, and guess what? Ran 4th behind the big 3. Sometimes just go with the obvious, right? Why make an argument? Great run for Michael Annett.
Again, 4 have clinched playoff berths, and 12 will make it into the playoffs. And right now, 8 of those have been fighting for points, while the big 3 have been dominating the races. Let's go to victory lane, and we'll go to Kelly.
And I can tell you that the Busch beers are already getting cracked open here in victory lane as Cole Custer prepares to take home another trophy. A Crosley jukebox here from Kentucky Speedway. We'll let him climb out of the car and celebrate with his crew, who did a phenomenal effort to help put him out front today.
Oh, no.
Overzealous there. No harm, no foul. And here's the man who's helped make it all happen, Mike Shiplett, his crew chief. 5 wins now on the season. You've won back-to-back 1.5-mile tracks here, Cole. What kind of a statement does it make here tonight?
Well, I don't look too good now falling off the car like that, but that was an unbelievable race. I mean, they just gave me a great car. I wasn't happy with it at the start of the race, but I just I mean, they just made the right adjustments, and I can't thank them enough. Everybody, Gene Haas, Haas Automation, Ford Performance. It's awesome to get Ford in victory lane. It's an unbelievable year.
Congratulations. Cole Custer now leads with 31 playoff points.
How about that celebration when you get out of the car and you slam the 2 cans together and then you fall?